The others were eyeing me, almost expectantly. Why do they all want to bang me? Why is it that they all want to bang me? Why in the furry dating game are they all trying to bang me? I don't know. Game's a work in progress. Game elements are subject to change on full release. Welcome to the story of Password. We happen upon our titular character, Dave. He is up early, streets are empty, and school is out. Today is the day Dave would be going on a free month-long, all-expenses-paid trip to a ritzy mansion, a prized vacation that was scored by his friend Roswell the Boar. Dave was ready to celebrate his first taste of adult life before the start of college. What could be more perfect? Well, you know, a lot of things, but perhaps it's the company that Dave will be keeping that he's more excited about than the place all 7 of them are going. And now let's meet our characters. Dave the hyena. He loves coffee, doesn't take nearly enough to keep himself awake. Dave likes Dean's flirting, doesn't have the confidence to return it. And finally, Dave is too tired to express any feelings about the mansion trip. Roswell the Boar. Dave's friend from high school, attended high school anime club, interested in magic, the supernatural, and the occult. Roswell occasionally likes to tease Orlando with the occult. Always double checks on Dave if he ever seems down and out, loves his sweets, and finally is excited about the imminent mansion trip. Orlando the Dragon loves baking, even if his disasters are delicious, according to Dave. Dave's friend from school, president of the high school anime club, the early bird, considers mornings to be great for starting adventures. Orlando is also terrified of the supernatural and gets many panic attacks because of it. And finally, Orlando is excited about the imminent mansion trip. Sal the Crocodile. Sal likes pools, of course. Wrestling is his hobby. Sal is also planning to get a degree in physical therapy. Sal is also more of Orlando's friend. Sal met Dave at a gym one night. He is also a man of few words, but a good listener. And finally, Sal is too tired to express any positive feelings about the mansion trip. Dean the Bear. He smells like honey. Dean also likes to sleep in. Has family who works in the lumber business. Dean also flirts with Dave constantly, which Dave interprets as either sappy, forward, or tactless. Dean's flirts are as obvious as a motorized scooter zipping down your street. Only Dean's hatred of Tyson interrupts his thirst for Dave. And finally, Dean is too tired to express any positive feelings about the mansion trip. Haas the Lion. Moved into town by the start of senior year of high school. Haas also likes anime and was part of Orlando's anime club. Is an inspiring actor or a failed TV star, depending on who you ask. Wants to be featured on the big screen, very fashion forward, very clean, stays up to date on the latest gossip. To Haas, he's destined to live in a mansion in his future. And finally, Haas is excited about the imminent mansion trip.
Say, Orlando, how do you think I managed to get to the mansion for a month anyway?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, let's just say I had family connections.
This seems more like a thing you'd sell our souls for. How readily available are mansions anyway? Orlando's scales paled slightly, his excitement shot. I didn't think Roswell's family had that much sway, but I was open to this just being a lucky break.
Souls? Well,
Orlando hurriedly reached out for Roswell, who stepped back out of our reach, throwing his hands up as he backed over to his bag.
Let me tell you, you didn't, Roswell.
Again, he reached out for Roswell, who ducked under Orlando, using his smaller frame to his advantage.
just remember to pay Sharon the toll for crossing the river when you get on the bus, Orlando.
Oh, looks like that's not everyone, in fact. Tyson the Wolf. Despite his history, Tyson and Dave are currently friends. Tyson was also the local bully in his youth. This history is why Roswell, Orlando, Sal, and Dean do not like him. Haas has no idea who Tyson is, though, and will go off of Dave's word. Doesn't give up an inch of his personal space, if he's already comfy. And finally, Tyson is confident that he won't make new friends during this month-long mansion trip, thus tipping the scale in the favor of most people in this group do not want to go on this mansion trip, or are at least not excited about it.
No, but what did it cost?
Only our souls.
Orlando let out a wail, clutching his head. You know he's not serious, right? Roswell gestured at me with a piece of red licorice, smug grin on his face. He knew how to push my buttons, especially Orlando's. Well, wouldn't... I mean, our souls aren't worth that much, are they?
Hey now, you can't go say that. You're worth plenty.
Yeah, your soul alone could pay for this whole trip.
I laughed, nervous before settling into a wry smile. There you go. Now you can have your soul back, Orlando. Orlando and Roswell looked towards one another before looking back at me.
So, you do know the other reason I put this together, right?
Huh? What reason?
Ever since the incident, you've been sort of distant. Muted, maybe. Like, I don't know. You don't seem like the cheerful hyena you were before it happened.
Oh, I guess I haven't, huh? Once again, they looked at one another, almost as if wanting the other to say something first.
We just missed the old you is all.
I'm fine, really, just... Well, you know how it is.
You sure?
Positive.
And I guess that's all there is to it. This'll be the best vacation ever, promise.
Since high school is over, and with college looming right around the corner, this summer trip is shaping up to be the last big hurrah for Dave and his group of friends. One solid month of extended time together? Well, I'll never get something like this again. At least, so thanks Dave.
What's up, Roswell?
I just want to know if you were planning on documenting this vacation at all. Like, did you bring a camera or something?
Oh, actually there was something I brought along. Let me pull it out. I rummaged in my backpack and pulled out a small notebook, rubbing my fingers across the cover. I have this. I figured that this is going to be the last time we get to hang out. Maybe it'd be neat to have a little journal. Maybe I can scrapbook parts of it too.
Are we gonna scrapbook things without a Polaroid camera, Dave?
I can draw or print them out on my phone when I get back home.
Well, I think it's a good idea. I have my own notebooks, so I might make a journal out of my own. Maybe then we can, I don't know, compare and make copies for everyone else.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, alright. If you wake up at some point and want to chill, Orlando and I will be watching stuff near the front. Or maybe playing cards or something. Sleep well.
The gentle rolling of the bus and the low drone of the engine was enough to lull me to sleep given how tired I was, even after 2 cups of coffee. I must have slept the whole way to the mansion. Not only that, but the feeling of warm air made me open my eyes. Carefully, only to come face to face with Dean. Whoa, Dean! My hands quickly found their way to his body, one half haphazardly on his chest and the other half on his face in a panic. He just chuckled, letting himself get pushed back. With the size, there's no way I was going to legitimately move him if he put up any sort of resistance.
Good morning to you.
You were sleeping so soundly that I figured you might need someone to wake you up.
You couldn't just shake me gently, or...
What? Nah, kiss, sleeping beauty.
Wait, you didn't actually kiss me. I slept through it, right?
Well, I can always kiss you just in case.
I felt my cheeks go red and I laughed. Stopping only when Dean recoiled from something hitting him in the square of the forehead. I looked back at Ty, who seemed to be rolling his eyes, but was very clearly the only one who could have thrown whatever it was that had hit Dean.
Well, we're pulling up now. Basically there already. Driveway was long enough as it was.
Without another word, Dean went back to his chair, scratching his head and somewhat stopping by Sal to say something. I couldn't make out what it was, so I double-checked and I had everything in preparation for us getting off the bus. Occasionally I'd look out the window, watching the trees go by as we made our way up the driveway, or what was left of it, before they parted proper for the last stretch, leading up to the mansion itself. As we gathered all of our bags, we filled off the bus, with Ty pulling up the rear following me closely. Before us stood a mansion, some 3 stories tall. This is where we were staying and effectively our home for the month. A smile formed on my face as the excitement started to settle in now that I could see it, with Tyson whistling in awe next to me, echoing how I was feeling. Roswell and Orlando led the charge, excitedly headed towards the front door of the mansion with their bags in tow.
This place is amazing. Look how big it is.
Right? It's gonna be great.
Haas wandered over to the others, with Ty lingering close by, waiting for me. The driver stepped out the bus, making sure we'd all disembarked before tipping their cap.
I see everyone's got everything, so I'll be heading off. I'll be back in a month. Enjoy your trip.
With only a wave, the driver got back in the bus and drove away. I watched as the bus disappeared among the trees, wondering if I'd ever be happy or sad to see the bus come back when the trip was over. I must have zoned out, and soon enough, Ty had an arm over my shoulder and started guiding me to the front door, to where the others were waiting. As Roswell continued on about how much fun we were going to have, the rest of us just turned to the sharply dressed butler that opened the door to greet us.
Mr. Roswell, I presume?
Roswell spun on the spot, startled by the new voice addressing him.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Very good. If you'll all follow me inside, we can get you all settled in.
Turning on the heel, the otter wandered inside, leaving the rest of us to look at one another before looking back to Roswell. Should we?
May as well, yeah.
We filed into the foyer of the mansion, the tiles underneath seemingly freshly cleaned with how glossy they looked.
Gentlemen, I welcome you to Hammond Manor.
The butler gestured towards the stairs leading up before he continued.
Bedrooms are on the first floor with further facilities on the floor above that.
Don't need to tell us twice. I don't need a tour.
All eyes were on Tyson as he said it, although the butler seemed to give him a quick once-over before addressing the rest of us again.
You have freedom to roam as you please within the manor, so long as no damage comes of you doing so. Really? We can go anywhere. You may, although there are some rooms that you will find that you cannot access. Well, sure, but...
Roletta trailed off, and my curiosity pushed me forward to finish asking the question. What kinds of rooms are off limit? The other stroked his mustache, seemingly thinking over before looking at it and talking to me directly.
Mostly those I'm still cleaning, or those that have less than ideal furnishings. To say the least, if you find a bedroom with nothing in it, consider it off limits until they're clean. I've left doors open to the ones prepared for you, so please take a pick.
Ty wandered off up the stairs ahead of everyone, lugging his bag.
Okay, alright, that seems easy.
With a place this big, are we meeting back up at some point later?
You shall find the dining room off to your left. Make yourself comfortable, and I shall have refreshments ready if you need them.
Well, alright.
With a slight bow, the otter wandered off in the direction he pointed at the dining room to be before disappearing into an adjoining room. That left the rest of us to take our bags up and find rooms. We each had our own, and thankfully we were all fairly close to one another. I dropped my bag off in the room and had a quick look around before wandering back downstairs. Seemed like everyone had already moved on though, as I was soon standing in the foyer by myself. Where should I go? Let's go to basement. Let's go to the creepiest place first. There were a set of stairs leading down from the ground floor, descending to an almost pitch black. I fumbled forward, wandering and reaching around in search of a light switch. Suddenly, the light came on. Oh, neat! I stopped my sentence midway, suddenly feeling a presence watching me. As I turned to look, a set of hands landed heavily on my shoulders, making me squeak and tense up.
No.
The sound I made wasn't manly by any stretch, but as I turned around to look at Tyson, he seemed to be amused enough at my reaction despite the daggers I was glaring at him. Ty!
What?
You scared me.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Didn't think it'd get you that good.
I grumbled, rubbing my face. You're terrible. I bet you turned the lights off on purpose just so you could jump out at me.
Me? Nah. Never turned them on. Night vision is good enough to see down your thigh.
The longer I looked at him, the more I noticed that he was trying really hard not to squint, and he looked a little dazed. And you totally didn't just blind yourself to scare me either.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, there's not much down here. You can go back upstairs now.
No, I want to see what's down here. You've been down here a while, I think.
Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. Go nuts looking.
Or you could just tell me what's down here if that's the problem.
There's a gym. Only thing worth mentioning.
I looked around, tied to the other doors leading off. There was no way all these just led to a gym and nowhere else. Just a gym, huh?
Well...
Ty gestured over his shoulder to one door that looked different to the rest. It was big and looked heavy, but just beyond there being a different door than the others. It just looked out of place down here.
Probably best if I show you. Come on, pup.
The room beyond the door was a fairly small one. The main feature of it was there was a large door opposite where we came in. If the door we came through was odd compared to the others, this new door was of another magnitude more strange. It even had a keypad next to it, as if wanting a combination to even open. What kind of room is this?
It's me. Looks like a bank vault from a TV show. Even has that keypad on it. Wants a combination, and nothing I put in will work. Not that I tried hard. The beeping got on my nerves.
I wandered closer to have a look. Seemed like the only buttons on it were for letters. Well, at least we know it's a word, right?
I guess. Don't know many letters. And fuck knows if it's just random letters at that.
Oh. Pressing the same letter over and over to see if it capped out got me nowhere. Not even an incorrect sounding noise, given I haven't pushed the confirm button. Oh god, you weren't kidding with this.
It's just a door. No telling what's on the other side, and frankly, unless it's a buttload of gold you get to keep, I don't care.
I guess so. I looked at the door again, eyeing the keypad. I couldn't hurt to have an actual try, right? Maybe. I'm gonna put in penis, but I kinda wanna try apple. It's like what Ty had said, the thing just wasn't going to be a simple thing to open. Yeah, well, looked like a Tyson who seemed to be not paying attention.
What?
You're zoning out?
Only thing I care about down here is the gym. You have fun with the tour, Dave.
What? You don't care about me too?
You stop that, fucking brat.
I poked my tongue out at him, thinking about the gym. You know, some might want to use the gym too, so at least you have a gym partner.
Yeah, isn't the wrestling right? Thought you just lift weights in peace.
It's not like you had a gym membership back home.
Nah, just let me in sometimes while you were at work.
Hey, I had an employee pass. I was going to use it.
Yeah, it shows.
Hey! As I huffed, Ty laughed to himself. Sure enough, a smile crept up onto my face, having been affected by the laughing. So, what's the plan now?
Probably do weights until it's time to eat. Whereas that doesn't interest me all that much.
Not even a little?
I'll look around later.
Well, okay.
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I'll see you at dinner though.
I followed Tyson back out into the basement proper and watched as he continued straight to another room, presumably the gym.
Dave explores the grounds thoroughly. Outside, he's found a hedge maze, a greenhouse, and fresh, clean mountain air. The first floor has the bedrooms, each with its own bathroom. All of the bathrooms are largely identical. The first floor gives off the impression of it being a hotel. Beds are large enough for people like Sal and Dean. The empty off-limits rooms are easy to get to, but they're completely barren of any furniture. I mean, what's up with that? The dining room is comically large for a group of 7. The kitchen is also stacked with baked goods. The second floor has the conservatory, which is a glass sitting room, a trophy room, a small study, and a library.
This place has everything, huh? Wonder why they needed all these things. Who used to live here?
Don't ask me, I don't know.
Hold on, so this isn't one of your folks' houses? Or relatives?
Well, they could be. I didn't really pay attention to the details, so my parents did most of the organizing anyway.
Okay, but surely you remember whose house this is.
I was just so excited, I didn't really think it'd be that important to commit to memory. Besides, when you get told you can spend a month at a mansion as a vacation, all expenses paid, how much do you really need to be worrying about details if it's organized by your parents?
These guys are idiots. Or this guy, at least, is an idiot. Oh my gosh. I guess? Still, maybe there's something around us that'd tell us whose place this is.
Oh, well, we can ask the butler. He was expecting you, so I'm sure we're allowed to be here.
Yeah, come, dinner. We'll figure out dinner.
I yawned, finding my way into my room. I flopped into my bed, patted my stomach, sighing out having eaten something to tide me over until dinner. The nap on the bus was a couple hours, but even then, I didn't sleep well last night. Maybe it was the idea of being far from home for a whole month that made me uneasy. Maybe it was something else messing with me. Something had been bugging me ever since we pulled up. Something that was prodding me in the back of my mind as if I'd forgotten something really important. I awoke to the sound of something echoing around the house. Oh, dinner bell. I got up from my bed. I wondered how long I'd actually been asleep for.
Dave, dinner's ready.
Roswell must have been just down the hall, or maybe outside my door. It was hard to tell given how open this place was. Sound seemed to carry easy enough though, which is probably why I heard the dinner bell as well. For a moment, I thought it was something like an old-fashioned fire alarm. As I stepped out from my room, I caught a glimpse of Roswell heading down the stairs, taking them 2 at a time before almost slipping and falling over as he bound down the last one a little bit too eagerly. As I stepped into the dining room, I was greeted with a spread of food far too impressive and grandiose for just the 7 of us.
Dave, welcome. What do you think? Pretty good, huh?
Wait, you made all this? He helped. Orlando laughed, waving Sal off, although it was clear that he'd been busted. I took a plate and grabbed a little bit of everything before deciding where I wanted to sit. And much like how I was trying to figure out where to sit, the others were eyeing me, almost expectantly. Why do they all want to bang me? Why is it that they all want to bang me? Why in the furry dating game are they all trying to bang me? I don't know. As I approached Sal, I hesitated as his gaze on me unwavered. Stopping shy of the empty seat beside him, I dipped my gaze down rather than meeting his eye directly. Well, what's wrong? Nothing. Is it fine if I sit here? If you have to? As if betraying his comment as something unfriendly, he pulled the chair out for me so I could sit down, pushing it back with his foot before returning to the food in front of him. Was he just tired? He sounded a little odd. He also seems more abrasive than normal, but a lot of the time he was just very blunt. I have to sit somewhere, right? But I guess I sort of want to sit here too. He shrugged, playing with the food on his plate. The others by now started conversing with themselves in some sense, wondering if I should pick up some slack with Sal. Are you, liking the mansion so far? It's good. No follow-up, just more stare at his food. I was about to ask him something else, but he continued. Bigger than any place I've been to before. I like it though. With a smile now on his face, Sal skewered some meat that he'd been piled onto his plate and began to eat. For the most part, there was a mixture of things on the table for us to pick from. Roasted vegetables and meats, plus a few sides. Sal had a little bit of everything. Did you just grab a little bit of everything? Was that not the point? I thought we could really just pick what we wanted, sort of like a buffet. Oh, that makes sense. Maybe I should have grabbed more vegetables then. Vegetables? Don't crocodiles normally, go for more meats? Vegetables are good for a balanced diet. You need to eat your vegetables. And then you get dessert, right? While the others talked amongst themselves, I ate my food, still half asleep from my nap. Soon enough, our meals were done and I felt sated, at least for now. So, dessert. There's a look in Sal's eyes that made him seem uncertain, his voice lowered to a whisper. Ice cream. Do you think they have any? I would assume so. I hope so. I've gone and gotten it with Orlando a few times. The brain freeze is not so good, though. It's been a while since I've had ice cream. What's your favorite? Flavor? Strawberry. Really? I would have guessed. Actually, I don't know what I would have guessed. It's the color, mostly. I really like pink. I nodded slowly, wondering what I was going to eat. It wasn't long before the door to the kitchen swung open, with the butler emerging from a small tray of what appeared to be desserts.
Desserts are served, gentlemen. However, this particular spread was mostly Master Orlando's contribution to the meal, having tried to make something each particularly liked to ease your stay here.
I looked across to Orlando, who went bright red and flashed his all a bright smile. The butler wheeled the tray around the table, placing a dessert in front of each of us, ending with me. Oh, thank you,
What is it, Master Dave?
I don't think I got your name.
Oh, no one of no importance. Pay it no mind.
Is it Jeeves?
Pardon?
Your name. What about Alfred? The butler eyed me carefully before speaking clearly and plainly.
You may call me Benson. It is a pleasure to meet you all.
He bowed slightly before gently placing the dessert intended for me on the table.
If that will be all, gentlemen, hope you enjoy your desserts and enjoy the rest of your evening. Feel free to leave your plates where they are and I will collect them later.
I looked at the dessert placed in front of me and cooed softly. I looked over to Sal, who already had the spoon at the ready to dig into his strawberry ice cream. So, looks like you got the ice cream you wanted, huh? Sal scooped into it slowly, letting the topping ooze and drip from the spoon and back into the bowl. Yep, I did. His eyes turned to what was in front of me, very, very curious. What's that? This, smells like coffee and has a lot of ice cream, so I think it's tiramisu? Tiramisu? Oh, I think I remember hearing about this. Orlando can't eat it. What? Why can't Orlando eat it? The coffee, I think. You'd have to ask him. You want to try any? No, thank you. I'm fine with my ice cream. There's another moment's pause before Sal sighed out and slid his bowl closer to me. Here, you can try some of mine if you want. Are you sure? He shrugged, but I got the impression that he was just going to do it to be polite. Thankfully, strawberries weren't my favorite, so I was less eager to just jump right in. Nah, I think I'll pass. Thank you, though. There was the faintest showing of a relieved smile on his face as he drew his bowl back and resumed enjoying his dessert. For me, my tiramisu was creamy, chocolatey, but with those familiar coffee tones that hit my nose whenever I moved my spoon through the cream. The scent of coffee always made me nostalgic, maybe because of how often I smelled it and around the family home. It was a safe place, or at least something that I associated with safety. Before I knew it, I'd finished sighing out contentedly, with a little sleepy despite there being coffee involved. With everyone well fed, we filed out into the foyer, ready to turn in for the night.
Well, I'm beat. Time to turn in. Haven't eaten that well in a long time.
It was good, very good. Better than what I've been eating.
Really?
That was restaurant quality, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I say better. That perfect mix of restaurant quality and homely charm.
I could feel Orlando tense up next to me. He took pride in his cooking, so I wasn't sure he was taking this as a challenge or an overall comment on his capacity as a cook.
So, everyone turning in?
I think so. I'm with Dean on this one. Dean shuffled up to me and put an arm around my shoulder, flashing me a particularly bright brand of grin.
You're with me, are you? Knowing what I'm doing?
Fuck off, bear.
I blinked. Having heard that tone before, it was angry, possessive, and while rarely directed at me, it didn't normally mean anything good. It must have caught Dean off guard, and he pulled his arm back and stepped away soon after. I heard Sal say something to Dean, arms folded across his chest, while Dean looked sheepish yet apologetic. But as for Orlando, he stepped forward to confront Tyson.
You should mind your tone, Wolf.
What? You were looking to pick a fight over how I talk.
If that was talking, I'd hate to have a civil conversation with you.
The two started snarling at one another, and looked between them, not sure of how to defuse the situation. As Ty took a step towards Orlando, Sal stepped over from his talk with Dean and grabbed Ty under the arms, lifting him just off the ground so he couldn't do anything anymore. Haas pulled Orlando aside to keep him properly separated.
This might not be the best time, but I wanted to pitch to everyone.
Somehow it was enough to defuse the situation that Roswell seemed to have the room to speak freely.
So, we're here for a month. I figure why not make a game of it while we're here?
What sort of game?
Well, Haas and I found a gaming room on the same floor as the bedrooms, so I was thinking something that DVDs or video games couldn't quite offer. Something we could do as a group or in teams.
Oh, but what did you have in mind?
I haven't gotten that far.
There were grumbles from some of the others before I asked if he had any ideas, and the fire reignited in Roswell's eyes.
Yeah, something I'll need to ask Benson first, but it has the potential to be a lot of fun.
I like fun. Besides, playing only video games for the month seems, I don't know.
Like a waste of a mansion? I agree. Yeah, not bad. To have another option, I suppose, outside of maybe finding a spot to do some fishing. I don't have any ideas.
Sounds good to me. If you need help, just give me a heads up.
Same here, but for now I'm gonna go to bed.
That makes two of us. Night, everyone.
Dean and Haas wandered upstairs and out of sight.
Night, Dave.
Yeah, sleep well. See you at breakfast.
Then Roswell and Orlando followed suit. Ty shrugged Sal off, grumbling. He was let go and kicked the ground, annoyed. Tyson didn't really say much else, shooting Sal an unimpressed look before heading upstairs. As for Sal, he nodded once and gave me a small wave before heading upstairs like all the others before him. I stood there taking another look around the grand entry, the furnishings, the stairs leading up to the first floor. If I were royalty, I'd feel the part in the castle easily. But still, something wasn't quite right. Something foreboding seemed to be lingering just beyond view. Something that was making me feel uneasy in the pit of my stomach. I felt the hair on the back of my neck stand on end, and I spun around to see if anyone was there. If I hadn't watched Ty go upstairs on his own, I'd assume he was playing another trick on me. Still, I was alone as far as I could see. No one's there, right? Silence. Mr. Benson? More silence. Maybe it was just tiredness. After all, there wasn't anything sinister here, right? We could trust Roswell's capacity to not invite us to a murder mansion for a vacation, right? Nothing could have beat the sight of my bed by the time I got up to my room. As soon as I lay down and hit my head on the pillow, I was out like a light.
End of day 1 of Password. Thank you for watching this video. This has been Rad Dude, your tenacious puppetry streamer, boiling down July 31st stream of Password. If you'd like to encourage me to make more content like this, let me know in the comments below. For now, take care. Who's out? Rad's out.
In coffee shops and their sippy cup ass piece of shit. I just gotta play along with whatever he says and pretend to laugh, and then he'll go away faster. Oh!
This is fucking capitalism!
Rules for me and not for thee! Damn it! My greed has made me lose more of my money! I only get 120 $20 for that? Dude, just drop porn on the internet instead! Who's this bitch think she is? Yes, because we can all agree to beat to a pulp that disgusting furry face.